War Isn't For You, a children's book by Aaron Chung. Story 1. The Bulge. Little Timmy was sleeping when Sergeant Joe wakes him up. Sergeant Joe tells little Timmy that the Germans were attacking much quicker than they thought, so they decided to meet up with the boys. They met up with Private Peter, nicknamed PP for short, and Lieutenant Will Smith. They got ready for the assault that was about to come. However, they didn't realize how strong their opponents were. With such a massive force, little Timmy and the boys tried to hold the lines as much as possible, but because the Germans had more people, it didn't seem like they had much of a choice but to retreat. On the run, little Timmy, Sergeant Joe, and Lieutenant Will Smith made it back out alive. Sadly, PP was pew-pewed in the back. The three decided to group up with the other American forces. With the combined forces, they were able to take out the remaining German dudes. During the attack, however, little Timmy felt something, and as time went on, he slowly started to faint, not knowing that he got grazed by a Nerf dart. Oh no. Story 2. Boom Boom. Ensign Ashikaga was chilling on the deck of Carrier Akagi when his commanding officer, Lieutenant Moriyama, tells him that it was time to get ready. They were heading off to battle. A few minutes later, the commander of the ship, Admiral Tokugawa, gives a motivational speech on the deck. Ashikaga meets up with his friends, Fuji and Shimazu, who are both ensigns as well. After the speech, they took a drink and headed over to the plains. In the air, Fuji, Shimazu, Moriyama, and Ashikaga take up formations. Not before long, they were spotted by anti-air guns, so they decided to get closer to the scene. Shimazu gets shot down by flat guns, while Fuji crashes into another plane. With only Lieutenant Moriyama and Ensign Ashikaga, they decided to keep on pushing. They delivered torpedoes with little success. Then, Ashikaga receives a vision from his dead father. "My son, you are the ammo," his dad told him. They decided to go do a kamikaze attack with the little amount of resources they had left. Moriyama gets shot down, but Ashikaga manages to get through. "Tano Henko, Banzai!" he yells while going towards the ship. Before the impact, Admiral Tokugawa tells the remaining pilots, "It has been an honor." At that last moment, Ashikaga felt nothing but peace in the midst of battle. Before we move on to the next story, let's just put our Fs in the chat for those who have fallen in this battle.
I'm crying, missing my lover. I don't have that power. Hold my side forever. Oh, where is my lover? And I got no power.
お父さん、ごめんなさい。私たちは本当にお互いを知ることができませんでした。軍隊に入ることで、あなたを誇りに思ってもらいたかったのです。あなたに失敗したことを許してください。すぐにお会いしましょう。
Story 3. Big D. Private First Class Hans was sleeping in the bunker when he was shaken awake by what seemed to be an earthquake. His squad leader, Lieutenant Fritz, said that the Americans were shooting them from the battleship's guns. After hours of bombardment, Hans and the boys went outside to get ready for an attack. To their surprise, a bunch of Americans were already headed towards them. With the advantage, the squad wiped out the first wave. As they took out more waves, Hans, Fritz, Franz the Sanitäter, and Sergeant Gustav the machine gun operator realized that the Americans were getting closer each time. After they took out the last American, the squads decided to leave, but as they were leaving, Fritz gets shot in the back. They erased the American, but Lieutenant Fritz wasn't going to last long because Franz had actually used all the stims for funnies and celebration. Franz was pulling Fritz towards the bunker. However, because he was so high on energy, he didn't see an enemy American standing right in front of him. He got lead in his face. Without much time left, Hans and Sergeant Gustav had to leave without them. Gustav and Hans started to get back to the bunker. Filled with rage, Gustav started blasting the Americans in the bunker, but gets shot himself. Injured, Hans moved further into the bunker. With not much hope left, Hans said his final words and fell asleep. for eternity. The end. Sleep well, kids.